It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, she took it there. She said Papa Perp. First of all, the first line, you knew it wasn't gonna be nothing good to come after that. Papa Perp. That's not like a good like hip hop name though.
That's so fucked up.
Papa Perp.
And it's crazy. I feel like this beef back and forth was crazy because I feel like low key, I don't know what's true and what's not. People talk shit, and I'm sure the industry is very small. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of truth in those things, which is kind of crazy. But like, it's sad.
This the kind of beat to go, this the kind of beat to go, this the kind of beat to go, rock, top, top.
Blah, blah, blah. Welcome back to another episode of the Petty Headquarters, and I'm your host, Tiana Locke, and this is
Jesse Strange.
And we are back at it again with another video, and of course, we are going to talk about the shenanigans that's happening in the media with the most notable artists that we know of, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, their beef has started again. This wouldn't be our first time covering the Nicki Minaj and Cardi B beef that they got going on. But to those who are new, welcome. We are the Petty Headquarters. We cover the pop culture we're a pop culture podcast. We cover things like reality TV, Zeus Network,
Celebrity drama.
Yeah, exactly.
This being one of them.
Exactly. And
Right.
if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you guys for your support. We truly appreciate you guys. Also, I wanted to remind you that the Baddies reunion is coming up, and we will be part of a event that will be watching it live on the first day. So keep your calendars open. Actually, we have to hit up our friends soon. So once Zeus releases the date, we'll have a date. So stay tuned for that. We're very excited. And yeah, I think now we can just begin. Right?
I just want to also say that we just hit 1,000 followers on Instagram.
God, yes!
So congrats.
I want
So
a
exciting.
big shout out to you, Miss Tiana.
Yes, ma'am.
Because she is the coordinator for the social media stuff. She is behind most of it. So I want to give you your flowers.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you guys don't follow us on Instagram, please follow us at the Petty Headquarters. Go support us. You get all the tea there, all the small clips and shit like that is all on there. So
me talking shit, yeah, it's all on there. So anywho, without further ado, let's just get into it.
yeah, let's get
All
into
right.
it. So I guess, do you want to do the little brief or you want me to do it?
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, from what I know about this whole thing with Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, Cardi B just released an album. And, it's gotten a lot of hype in the media. She dissed a lot of people on that album, Bia included, Offset included. And I don't even know, she didn't mention Nicki, but I don't know if there was like some shade. I feel like that first song was a little shady, but who knows? So it was doing really well. People were talking about it. And then Nicki took it upon herself to go to Twitter and basically kind of like talk shit about how she raps. There was one tweet that she came out with talking about ABCD, because in one of her songs, she does that. And she made a shady tweet in reference to one of Cardi's songs, insinuating that, bitch, you can't rap. You rap like a 2-year-old.
Yeah, so Cardi B released her album on September 19th,
Period.
called Am I the Drama?
I love that.
And shortly afterward, Nicki Minaj made social media posts that appeared to shade Cardi's album rollout. Specifically, she referenced the $4.99 promotional price for the album on iTunes, a jab implying that Cardi was using pricing tricks or undercutting in some type of way.
What does that have to do with her?
Right. Nicki also made comments about Cardi's lyrics, and then that's what you said about that. So Nicki Minaj wrote, "Never provoke a writer while they're writing." Then she also tweeted $4.99. Then she also tweeted ABCDEFG surgery to look like me. Tell the rat and tell Jay-Z Rico's fraud and perjury. And then Nicki also wrote, falling off the charts with a big belly. Still, you could not outsell me. And then this is where Cardi responds. And obviously there's a lot of deleted tweets. And I'll be honest with you, I do have the tweets back and forth, but it's a lot.
It is a lot.
In regards to just the way they write.
Yeah.
Both of them
it's
sound,
a lot.
you know.
It's a lot of back and forth.
Right. So, I'm sorry, I'm just going to read.
Go ahead.
Cardi had responded to all those initial tweets saying, you've been in the game for like 16 years and you still need to compare yourself to your peers, Rihanna, Taylor Swift, Drake, etc., etc. Then Cardi also goes off insinuating that there's substance abuse, infertility, and she also brought up Nicki's brother and how, you know, Nicki Minaj basically got SA'd by her family when she was younger, and you're mad because, you know, now you're with somebody who's on the list, your brother's on the list, your dad, I'm sorry, your dad, you know, touched you, and your mom sat there and did nothing, like all this shit. And it got really deep and personal. Like
it did.
They were going back and forth. It was crazy. And throughout those tweets and throughout the back and forth, Nicki Minaj had brought up Jay-Z, had brought up Charlemagne the God, had brought up Jess Hilarious, had brought up
Zeus Network.
Did she?
Yeah, she did. She was like, Zeus, count your days or some weird shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yeah.
she was just, everybody was catching strays in this whole thing.
Pretty much.
You know?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read some tweets back and forth, but it's a lot.
It's a lot. Y'all gonna have to follow or go to someone that compiled a whole folder of the tweets in order. I still haven't seen them in order yet. I still haven't. No one's doing that.
So at some point, Nicki Minaj mentions Culture, which is Cardi B's daughter. And mind you, this girl's like 4 or 5 years old. They're young. They're babies. And Nicki was just saying some wild shit.
Yeah, she called her daughter a roach and a monkey.
That was one of the things.
That was one of the tweets. But then she just kept mentioning Culture in reference of Cardi B's not a good mother. And, you know, she even called out Cardi B basically, you know, about her pregnancy, her current pregnancy.
Right.
And was talking shit. And again, comparing herself to Cardi.
Yeah.
Saying that what she would do and how she did it different and all this stuff. And basically calling her a dumb bitch for that. And so it was just a lot of weird shit.
And she also called her daughter Vulture.
Oh, yes, she did say Culture Vulture.
Yes. So this is Cardi B responding to all that. She said, you said, fuck Vulture. What, bitch? That slow ass son that came out of your pussy. You was wishing so much negativity on me while I was pregnant. And look at your karma. Look at the rotten pussy. Look at what your rotten pussy produced. Now he has...
Okay.
Now he a whole 5-year-old tiptoeing around the house and can't spell his name. And they just go back and forth. This is a lot.
And
yeah, no. You know what though? These tweets are so all over the place. It's kind of hard to remember to keep up with the back and forth because they were just going tweet after tweet. Nicki's last response to Culture was, Dear Culture, truth is, I did all this for a bigger purpose, and one day you'll understand. You're a cute child, and lots of kids have cute little funny-looking gums before they grow into all their features. One day you'll see this, so I have to say I apologize. As a child of God and queen of my community who look to me for integrity, you're an innocent child and don't deserve any of this. One day your mother, aunt, and many more will be brought to their knees for what they've said and tried to do to my young prophet / beautiful boy. Take care, my darling. This isn't who I am. And so in response,
Cardi's response, I'm sorry, had me cracking the fuck up. It's so bad. It's so
Oh,
bad.
so you know her?
I saw this, yeah.
Dear Papa Perk, I'm sorry that your mommy haven't cut you a birthday cake for the last 3 days because she can take my success. She meant to say, because she can't take my success or happiness. One day you'll grow up, and I hope you understand when a girl says no, it means no. And you can overcome the pedophilia blood you inherited from your grandfather, father, and uncle. Please don't hate me when you grow up because your mommy would rather give me attention than she gives you. Hopefully, when somebody that really cares about her puts her in rehab and gets her help, she needs to come out and read you a book.
That was fucking crazy, yo. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, she took it there. She said pop a perk. First of all, the first line, you knew it wasn't gonna be nothing good to come after that. Pop a perk. That's not like a good like hip hop name though.
That's so fucked up.
Pop a perk.
And it's crazy. I feel like this beef back and forth was crazy because I feel like low key, I don't know what's true and what's not. People talk shit, and I'm sure the industry is very small. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of truth in those things, which is kind of crazy. But like, it's sad how we got here because Nicki brought up culture. Like, I want to talk about that first because I know there's a lot of back and forth, right? There's a lot of things that happen. There's a lot of things to dissect. That's obviously the gist of the beef if y'all don't know anything about it, but it's kind of hard to really give you tweet for tweet, not only because it's Twitter, but Cardi don't know how to write. I just tried reading that shit and I had to actually in real time translate what I read.
To decode that shit. Yeah.
And then Nicki has like 10 personalities. So she talks about herself in like 3 persons and then talk about I'm the prophet, I'm the queen, I'm this, I'm that. And then she's like, the queen means I'm sorry. She talks in weird. So it's kind of hard to tell you all of that. You got to look it up yourself. You got to look
it up. But long story short, Nicki Minaj is salty that Cardi B's album is doing great. So she's throwing shade, basically saying, you will never outrank me. Then she goes on to say, your album flopped, your pussy flopped, all this crazy stuff. And then it's weird because Cardi saying, drop the Addy. And, you know, Nicki saying, we in New York, fuck it. Like, you can't fight. You never want to fight. And then Cardi's like, that's a lie. Like, you know, it is just weird back and forth shit. And then Cardi basically says, you know, you never wanted to fight. Like, she's saying all this stuff. And I'm like, how long is this beef gonna carry on for? Like, this is, I feel like it's more than just rap. It's personal.
Personal. After what I read,
it's personal. Because you know what happened at the Met Gala, where, like, you know, Cardi tried to attack Nicki because, again, she spoke on her as a mother and her kid again. So she tried to attack her there. Of course, security got in the way, and apparently Ra Ali did something, which I doubted. I think security got in the way and probably hit her hard when they tried to get in the way, and that's why she got that knot. Whatever. But it's just to think that this is something that has continued to go on and on and on and on, even with Offset.
Yeah.
When Cardi, and we talked about that, when Cardi was with Offset and Nicki Minaj's husband and his fucking goons showed up at his doorstep where him and Cardi was at while he was on probation.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of, you really, they just dumb, bro. You know you on probation and then you did that shit and then you ended up getting, it's just too much.
Yeah.
When are we going to stop this? When are we going to stop this? Like, I'm over it. Like, I'm really over it. Are y'all going to fight? Y'all need to go on baddies. Like, at this point,
call Let Me Plumber.
Yeah, at this point, because it's like, I feel like Nicki's doing so much talking, but then you're sending your husband and his goons. You know, you're not
Twitter fingers.
Yeah, like, you're never in front of her.
Yeah, and would like, never say that in front of her.
Right, and even Cardi has said multiple times that she is down to see you outside in the street.
She's down.
She is too down. She has asked multiple times. And Nicki always ducks to shit, even though she's just tweeting shit online, like how we in New York, pull up. Like, girl, what? You send your goons. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't do any of that.
Exactly. Why is it that these two women, specifically Nicki Minaj, I'm addressing Nicki Minaj, because at the end of the day, she was the one that was mad about Cardi B's rollout. It's really giving Nicki Minaj is a fucking hater. Not only are y'all both women in the industry, not many of y'all.
Right.
Y'all both from New York.
Right.
Y'all both, pretty much the industry put y'all on the same fucking level, to be honest with you. And for a long time, Nicki could have been more, could have been the legend, could have been what she craves so much to be remembered as. And over the time, all she's allowed, because she's such a miserable hater, is she's allowed her negativity to ruin everything we had left of Nicki Minaj. And then throughout the whole thing, as she's tweeting all these terrible, negative, very hateful, induced tweets, she's promoting her album that's coming out in March.
That's why she's doing this.
But that is the ugliest way to promote something, because it's not even funny. You're literally telling this woman how her daughter, and clowning on this girl's gums, clowning on the hair. Oh, you mad? Your mom's just mad because, you know, my son can grow hair and y'all are bald monkeys. Like, that's literally, she called them monkeys. Why is it that people canceled Erica Mena for doing that? But then when Nicki Minaj does it, oh, it's nothing. Meanwhile, Nicki Minaj is the one that fucking lightened her skin. And now all of a sudden, when you say somebody else's kid is a monkey, no one says anything. No one bats an eye. No one criticizes Nicki Minaj. Get the fuck out of here with the pick and choose in the community, all right? Just because someone has a higher status or someone's more favorable in music and all that bullshit, fuck off.
So now what people say to argue with that is that Cardi has called black women monkeys, so they just don't care. And I feel like it's just a very toxic way of thinking. Like, I feel like they both should be held accountable.
Right.
Like, it shouldn't just be picking and choosing. Like, you know, if Cardi B is going to be held accountable for that, then Nicki should be held accountable for that as well. And like, you're calling someone's daughter a child, a monkey, and a roach. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
The worst
Unprovoked.
part is not like she called Cardi, the other adult that can tweet back and defend herself, a monkey.
Right. You're calling a little girl this.
Who can't even read what you're writing. You're really bad-mouthing a child.
Literally.
And then expect the world to like you and support your fucking rollout?
Bro, did you see one of the Barbs were crying and like yelling online, talking about how nobody ever has Nicki Minaj back, fuck Cardi. Like, this dude was crying. I have to find it. This nigga was crying and yelling his fucking lungs out, bitch. I was like, nah, the Barbs are different.
They're fucking weird, bro. Crying?
I'm good off that.
I will always be a Barb, but it's not worth this. It's not worth me crying all the time.
Honestly, the Barbs are fucking extra, and they're the same people that support Kanye West, in my opinion, because it's the same thing. It's this victimized mentality. Fucking Nicki Minaj wants to act like, oh, you know, the industry's holding me back from here and there. It's Jay-Z's fault. It's this fault. But look at how you act.
Yeah.
How are you going to get any type of opportunities when you act like a fucking bitch?
She's low-key acting like
Kanye.
Yeah.
Kanye.
Them tweets is starting to sound a little Kanye-like.
Dead ass.
Like, you sound like you need to be admitted like Kanye too. Like, I don't know what's going on. I really don't.
It's really fucking weird. And then throughout this, and then there's one thing, right? You have your beef with Cardi because you're a fucking hater is one thing. But then you also brought in Charlamagne the God, Jess Hilarious, Jay-Z. Everyone was catching strays to the point.
Zeus Network.
Where I want to share, Just Hilarious actually addressed it on The Breakfast Club.
Oh my God. I saw her video about it too. That shit was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
She's so funny.
Going at it again.
Some more? Crazy.
We played that audio yesterday of Cardi B going off about the Ice Spice lyric. Mm-hmm. Cardi B and one of Ice Spice's team members, his name is James. She mentions James in the audio. They were online, going back and forth. Conversation is about who leaked the audio. Nicki Minaj commented on that. She basically was saying that Cardi leaked the audio, right? So then now the two of them start going back and forth. Well, first, Nicki also addresses Cardi saying the fertility issues thing. Mm-hmm. She says that she's never had fertility issues and it's not something that should be used lightly because there are women who deal with that. And, you know, prayers to those women. But Cardi mentions, listen, it's your son's birthday because yesterday was Papa Bear's birthday.
Oh, wow.
And you're on Twitter dedicating essays to me. For the love of God, go to Chuck E. Cheese. So then they start arguing back and forth about the night that they actually ran into each other in New York. Then Cardi B mentions, because it's been a conversation about whether she mentioned Nicki on this album. Nicki posted referencing a line that I'm assuming she thought was about her. Cardi cleared it up. She said, how are you pressed over an album you haven't got a hit on or a mention in? Your feelings are hurt because I haven't paid you no attention. You haven't even cut your kid's cake yet. It's 6:00 in LA. You must have took your first line of the day. So then Nicki tweets Barney B and Culture Vulture. You know, Culture is Cardi B and Offset's daughter. And then of course, Cardi responds and she says, listen, that's the last time you're going to be mentioning my kids. You know, we're not about to do that, basically. Nicki Minaj then calls culture ugly. And then it gets really like crazy after, you know, I mean, it was already crazy, but it gets really crazy after that. You know, Cardi responds and says, you wish you could call my daughter ugly. Culture is beautiful. And you know that. Your hate is so deep and dark and nasty because your son is nonverbal because you effed him up with drugs. So you're jealous of everybody's kids and their happiness. Now, these are all things that Cardi are alleging. And she's like, where are you at? Stop talking. So they go back and forth a bit mentioning the kids and, you know, just a ton of different things that I really don't even want to like read in full.
Nikki, how can you mention the fertility issue, right? Like, which is something very serious for a lot of women, you know, who are unable to have children, and then you turn around and you call somebody's kid ugly. Cardi, you cannot talk about nobody's kids. You pregnant, like it's a lot. I think it's irresponsible on both women's part. Nikki just seemed miserable. And like, I'm sorry, that's your gut punch right there. And mind you, we still have to wait till March to hear your raps.
Music.
To hear your music, to hear whatever the clapback is musically. We still got to wait till March while we watching this unfold right here.
Yeah, they both went to hell on each other. Crazy. And this is why Cardi should have never responded to Nicki. Yeah. And a lot of this is social media's fault because y'all love to say lyrics be about people that they don't be about. Cardi just confirmed she wasn't shooting at Nicki on none of them lyrics.
Yeah, she did confirm that.
I don't like this. I don't like when you throw the kids in it, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And, you know, you can't say somebody's going too far when you talk about somebody's kids because, you know, some people say, well, you know, play the high road. No, I'm going to hell with you. You talking about my kids?
Yeah.
I'm talking about yours. It should have never got that far. They should have never talked about each other's kids. I just don't like that. This is
I will say, I respect Nicki as an artist, but when I read her tweets, and she starts trying to label people good and evil, it really makes me think of Isaiah 5:20. Isaiah 5:20 says, woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Because if she believes that she comes off as a peaceful, loving, God-fearing human, she's bugging. Like, you can literally feel the darkness from her tweets. And honestly, that's why you shouldn't even engage with her, because when you match that kind of energy, you come off looking dark too.
You're right. And, you know, the one thing I would always say, when you're in your light and the light is shining on you, people will try to take that light away, right? Cardi B just released an amazing body of work. It's selling greatly. She had an amazing rollout. She's having a child coming up. She's doing a tour. But sometimes you just got to enjoy the light.
And Jess said something that's real too. Nicki has all those accolades, all that success, and still manages to come off as miserable. Like, how do you beef with everybody? Lil' Kim, Remy Ma, Cardi, Megan Thee Stallion, Lotto, Mariah Carey. Like, that's not a pink print. That's a stink print. Okay, Nicki energy just comes off as nasty and stink. That's what y'all should be called. It's a stink print. Like, that's disgusting.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was great.
The Breakfast Club said it best.
They really did.
That was a beautiful piece of video right there.
No, it really was.
Not only were they able to capture the tweets back and forth and really give y'all something better that I can't do because it was just a lot. I don't know how they got good writers. But also it's like, I mean, they brought up so much valid points, right? Cardi, you're pregnant, my love. You cannot be doing that.
Yeah,
like, I
understand.
I understand how much it's terrible to hold your tongue, but
yeah, especially because Nicki's the type of person that just won't stop. Like, once she goes on a Twitter rant, it's done.
God punishes the tongue, and like, you just pray for the baby's health and coming out fine, and that energy, that hate that you feel inside transfers to the baby. And also, Nicki Minaj is a fucking piece of shit. Like, for real. You sitting there knowing she's pregnant, knowing she's successful. You want to bring her down. Want to bring her down so bad. And enjoying it, I'm sure. Enjoying every minute of it. And then it's like, fear those who tell you that they're good people. Because I remember reading that she was like, oh, I'm the queen. And as a good God-serving person, whatever the fuck she said, she's bringing God into it.
I hate when people do that.
I'm like, Nicki, you realize you sound like the devil, bro. Like, you sound hella evil trying to put on God's mask.
Yo, you sound like the devil.
Because the God don't talk like that.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing godly about what you're saying. Ain't nothing God. That's why I'm saying, wow, you really a Kanye right now. Like, you're really weird, and whatever drugs you're doing, girl, it's crazy. And then it made me think, like, you know, we never really seen Nicki Minaj's son
talk.
Or much.
I mean, that's not a problem to not see him because who wants, you know what I mean? Like when you're that big in the industry, you don't want to expose your kids to the limelight.
I agree. But then
Right.
when you got someone who's your mortal enemy saying your son can't talk, don't you think the first thing you're doing is, hey, son, talk?
Yo,
to be like, bitch, you don't know nothing?
Facts. But then again, what if people are like, nah, I don't need to prove myself to you.
Please.
Nah, I agree.
Nicki Minaj
I
need to
agree.
prove herself.
She's the type that would do something like
But
that.
that's what I'm saying. So it made me think, is she correct?
I'm wondering the same thing, and I don't know, but I don't know, man. Given the environment and you and your husband and whatever dynamic y'all have, I wouldn't be surprised if you were doing something while you were pregnant. Look who you hang around with.
That made me think about what Cardi had said throughout the tweets back and forth. And she was saying that, oh, you know, Kenneth Petty, basically accusing Kenneth Petty of just being around and supporting Nicki Minaj's drug abuse because she's too busy high and then he can max out her credit card, which she accused him of. She said, yeah, I know about that, basically.
Nicki said that?
No,
Cardi.
Cardi was like, basically, yeah, I know about that.
Okay.
About what he be doing. And that he keeps, basically, she accused him of keeping her drugged up. And then it also made me think like, wow, okay, I could see that being a thing.
I could see that being a thing too.
100%.
He don't give me an energy that he's a good guy.
Yeah,
he seems like a
100%.
fucking bad guy.
Yeah, and then
To this day.
it made me think also about, you know, how victims of SA end up choosing the people who also do that because of trauma responses and not being able to deal with their own shit. And when Cardi had accused Nicki's father of SAing her when she was younger and her mother being silent and just sitting there, it made me think about the video we deep dived on Nicki and Kenneth Petty and how
She
Nicki
was silent with her sister.
Silent.
Was it with her sister?
No.
Because her brother did it to one of her sisters.
Not her sister. It was a child.
Niece.
Oh, but baby. Yeah, it was the child's kid.
I thought it was her niece.
Yeah, basically.
It
the
was
niece.
family.
Family, exactly.
And she was 12 years old.
Yes.
And her brother did that shit.
Correct.
And she literally gave the girl shit and her family shit and was like threatening them with lawyers and doing all this disgusting shit.
And then also Kenneth Petty's victim as well doing that.
Right.
Scaring them out of the state, basically. And using their power to basically bully these people. And then it just made me think like, wow. And then you end up being with someone who's on the list. And
This
it's
shit is
like,
deep.
I'm like, it's fucked up because it's like, wow, you really probably are. Like, this is crazy when you paint the picture of like, you know, all those things. You are probably really are perked up and not dealing with those emotions, bottled up. That's why you hate women so much.
That's what I was going to say.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why
That
you
is
hate
what I
women,
was
because
gonna
they
say.
never spoke up and protected you.
But then also she turns around and does the same thing that
Right.
those same women with internalized misogyny against women do. She does the same exact thing. And it's interesting how you see how people will repeat those traumatic events, and it's fucked up. It's so fucked up because the same way your mom didn't speak up, you ain't speak up for that girl, that 12-year-old girl.
For the multiple people, isn't it weird when you think about how Nicki Minaj genuinely surrounds herself around all these people on a list?
Yeah.
Like,
it's weird.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
That's a little alarming.
Yeah. Like you also are like that. Or
And-
product of your environment.
Right. And never healed. And then when you're painting the picture like, oh, you know, you have a drug addiction on top of that.
Which she's aware of. Which runs in her family too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
that's
her
right.
father.
You mentioned that once.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because it's like you sound off. I'm not going to lie. She sounds a little off the walls through those tweets.
She's been sounding like that, but this is
It's
why
getting worse.
It is getting worse. And that's why I'm like, damn, you starting to sound like Kanye. I never heard you talk this much.
Mhm.
Not this much. Like, for real.
Yeah, it's fucked up. And then, I don't know. I just think it's crazy how someone with so much like notoriety is sitting there
Hating on Cardi B, bro. That's what Cardi was like at some point. I was in high school when you were like a thing. Like, why are you hating on me? Like, you've been in the game for so long. You need to compare yourself to Drake. Compare yourself to the other big people. Stop trying to compare yourself to me.
100%.
Like we're not the same, you know? And even for her to even say something like that still shows that she respects Nicki and gives her that respect as, you know, the queen, I guess. But still, you know what I mean? Like, she's acknowledging your hard work. She's acknowledging how long you've been here. She's acknowledging the difference between experience, and you're still hating? That's crazy to me.
100%.
It's weird. I don't like that.
I know that when she mentioned Charlemagne the God, she actually ended up being the donkey of the week. Did you hear
Not
him
even
address
the
that?
day?
Donkey of the day. That's what I'm sorry.
then like the week? That's a lot. They usually do the day.
Check it out. Check it out.
The day for Thursday, October 2nd, goes to Anika, Tanya, Mirage, Petty. Heavy on the Petty. Now, yesterday, Nicki Minaj did what she does best lately, and that's go on an unhinged rant about everything and everybody, okay? If you missed it, I understand. There's more important things going on in the world, including but not limited to a government shutdown. And it started, at least on our end, because yesterday on Breakfast Club, we responded to Nicki's Tuesday unhinged rant about Cardi B. And this is what we said.
Nicki just seemed miserable. Like, I'm sorry. That's your gut punch right there.
I respect Nicki as an artist, but when I read her tweets and she starts trying to label people good and evil, it really makes me think of Isaiah 5:20. Isaiah 5:20 says, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." Because if she believes that she comes off as a peaceful, loving, God-fearing human, she's bugging. Like, you can literally feel the darkness from her tweets. And honestly, that's why you shouldn't even engage with her, because when you match that kind of energy, you come off looking dark too. I thought that was fair commentary, but Nicki Minaj thought otherwise. Now, Lauren LaRosa, LL Cool J, read what she tweeted about the Breakfast Club.
She said, "Charlemagne, did you put that bleaching cream on your penis too?"
Did you?
She then tagged the President of the United States and asked him to lock us all up. Imagine if you called yourself Trump the God. Oh, and then she called you the B word. Lock up Boring Lauren and Jess with the testicles too. They're very nasty people. Queens N-words run these N-words. Thank you. Salute.
Not MAGA Minaj calling on Trump to get us locked up and using some of the language that Trump used against me when President Trump said, "Can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I used that nickname?" Come on, Nicki. Now, didn't she have a tweet about Democrats too? What was that tweet, Lauren?
Yeah, she said, "Democrats, take them down. You're the all-powerful Democrats. Remember, they lost the election on purpose. Take them down. They're a curse. Take them down. I heard the Lord say it is done. Okay, Lord, thank you. We give you the honor, the glory, and the praise, Jesus."
Yeah, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, but, you know, she's probably mad at Democrats because Kamala Harris had Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla perform for her at campaign events, and she had Cardi B speak for her at a campaign rally. So anyone who dares to uplift any other female rapper that's not Nicki Minaj is going to be on Nicki's hit list. Why? Well, Little Kim told us why here on The Breakfast Club 13 years ago. Let's listen.
Her. She wanted to be the only female out there. I guess she wanted to be out there by herself. I'm going to leave this on this note. You will see. Everything in the dark comes to the light. That's all I got to say.
Dropping the clues box for Lil Kim. Kim, in typical Cancer fashion, you were right. My sincere apologies to Lil Kim for ever questioning her OG wisdom. Nicki has had smoke for Kim, Cardi, Megan Thee Stallion, Lotto, Doja Cat, SZA, Remy Ma. The list goes on, and it's sad because Nicki is goated. She's an icon living. She literally kicked down the doors for a whole new generation of female rappers. She was indeed the pink print for female MCs. I loved when she coined that term years ago. I'm not the blueprint. That's for the boys. I'm the pink print for the girls. But how does the pink print become the stink print? Yes, the stink print. Because as I said, your energy is just stank and nasty. You went from showing a generation how to be a female boss to showing a generation how to be a disgruntled artist. How does that happen? How do you go from inspiring a generation of young women to hating on a generation of young women? Well, that's what happens when a person is in pain. That's what happens when a person is hurting. That's what happens when a person has a bunch of unhealed trauma that they haven't dealt with. I saw something yesterday that I found extremely entertaining, okay? But then I was extremely disturbed.
And it put everything in perspective for me. Okay, there was a headline on Baller Alert, and I can't even believe Baller Alert posted something so unserious. But I'm glad they did, okay, because it said that Nicki Minaj was sent proof of witchcraft attacks. And it accused the Breakfast Club of orchestrating them. Okay, the tweet said the Breakfast Club was the main platform partnered with Michael Kaiser of Atlantic Records, orchestrating a direct Nicki Minaj takedown campaign for years, which see the devil. All because Nicki wouldn't work with us. The other thing I was thinking about, when was Nicki blackballed? When did Nicki Minaj ever fall off? Nicki, do you understand that you are the bar for female rappers? Do you understand that you are a rap icon? When have you not sold records? When have your tours not been packed? See, you believe when you see other female rappers coming up around you that it somehow repositions you. Nicki Minaj, that is a level of internal insecurity that only you can deal with. You have to look in the mirror and quote Dr. Seuss. You have to say, today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. And don't put that in the rap because it's going to sound like Safari wrote it. Now,
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah,
It's long.
It's good.
Wow, everything that Charlamagne said was super accurate, and the fact that he could even notice that Nicki's clearly dealing with some unhealed trauma that she hasn't healed from is very telling, because like he said, you are dead ass at the top. Like, why do you still choose to pick on, like he said, the younger generations of women?
Yeah, it's weird.
And why do you constantly feel like if you don't compete, you're going to lose your spot? It's weird.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Women that act like Nicki Minaj, they're not girls. They don't like other fucking females, okay? They're always looking to compete because they're always seeking validation from everyone else. Men, mostly, right? But it's like, why? I don't understand the mentality. I just can't stand women like that, because that's really how they think. They really do think that I'm getting older. I'm kind of out of my prime. And now these younger girls coming up, I don't want to fucking deal with that. I want to stay. They're not going to take my spot. I'm still the queen. It's like very narcissistic ways of even thinking and talking. And it's just really ugly. And, you know, someone had said and hit us up on the Instagram and was like, she's acting just like Natalie Nunn. And I'm like, yeah, this is probably why she likes Natalie Nunn. They're the fucking same.
And Krishan Rock.
Mm-hmm. And to think that there could be a possibility that you were using while pregnant.
Crazy. It's crazy. And it's sad to see her go like this. And then, like Charlamagne said, which brings up a valid point, and he publicly apologizes to Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim been sounding the alarm. Lil' Kim been speaking up about Nicki.
Mm-hmm.
And now look, and I love how that video he plays of her interview, and she's like, you'll see everything dark comes to light, and it don't matter. 13 years. Look at what Diddy. Look at with R. Kelly. Everything comes to light.
Mm-hmm.
Every single thing that people do. And now we're seeing the rollout of Nicki Minaj. I mean, at the end of the day, she's always been that girl. We just didn't have the internet as open as it is now. Anyways, back in her days, she didn't have the internet. We didn't have the internet like that.
Right.
The celebrities weren't on social media, which made them easier to like because you didn't know who they were.
Right.
You know what I mean? So seeing her now, and I do genuinely think that something is going on deeply wrong with Nicki. Like, you know, and she's completely shut everybody around her out, and she be in the streets and she thinks it's cute. And in my opinion, when you're acting very disgusting and hateful and you are talking bad on children and you're trying to bring other people down, and then you're going on these rants and stuff like that, it just feels like maybe she's in an abusive situation. Like, and with the addiction on top of that, like
that's what I was thinking about. Because how is it your son's birthday and you're tweeting, going off on Cardi B? Like, why are you even on social media this heavy and it's your child's birthday?
Yeah, it's weird.
That is weird.
It's weird, and I feel like she's cut everybody close around her off. she's very erratic, and the way Nicki talks and the way Kanye talks is like very much that, like just a drug addict and an alcoholic who has been so down bad and has like distanced herself from all family and friends that they become such an ugly person that no one wants to be around them anymore because they're so hateful and ugly and deteriorating on the inside. And that's what it comes off as.
Yeah, man. The whole thing surrounding this Nicki Minaj and Cardi beef seems like there is a deeper underlying issue going on, you know, within Nicki Minaj's realm. Because I feel like Cardi, she's an open book. Like, if she gonna crash out, she gonna crash out. If she gonna say something, she gonna say something. You know what I mean? Nicki, not so much, but she'll give the illusion that she's the boss. She's this, she's that. And, you know, it just comes off very ugly. And I know the Barbs are riding hard for her, and they keep bringing up all the fucked up shit that Cardi's done, and they don't care, you know. They say Nicki's been in the game, respect the queen, you know. They act like her in terms of like that. It's not even they act like her. It's more like a cult. You know, it gives like a cult.
Minaj,
the fact that, you know, Charlamagne called you MAGA Minaj is crazy. And just the whole thing that you called President Trump, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just starting to look into your whole psyche, your mental. Like, it's starting to sound like Kanye. I don't know what the problem is. And I'm not for it. I mean, I feel sorry for the Barbs that low-key don't want to be Barbs anymore because they're going through an internal crisis, okay? They're going through an internal conflict where they like Nicki, but then it's like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they respect her, they love her music, but then it's like, girl, shut the fuck up. So I don't know. If you guys are a Barb, how do you feel about this? Were you a Barb and you're no longer a Barb? Because I feel like that was my situation. I know our situation, like when I started to really see like little by little, and we have videos here about that and episodes that you can listen to about that. You know, once I started to see who she really was, like from the moment I found out that she literally didn't stand up for the 12-year-old girl that her brother raped, like, I'm sorry, but that is just unacceptable.
Clipped.
And you're a disgusting woman. I'm sorry. And I'm sure you do have your own issues, but grow the fuck up. Heal
100%.
from it, grow the fuck up. You're in your 40s. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, it shows that it's more comforting to do that than to sit with the uncomfortable shit that may have happened to you. You know what I mean? It's uncomfortable to sit with that truth. You know, it's uncomfortable, but you have to be uncomfortable in order to heal. You know, you have to let that out in order to get to the light. And a lot of people just don't realize that. And I'm over Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, I've been over that bitch.
I think both of them need to be held accountable for the things that they've said back and forth on Twitter, 100%. But I just feel like, you know, none of this would have happened if Nicki didn't fucking start with her to begin with.
100%. And up until Nicki had mentioned everything else, Cardi was kind of just keeping it.
Yeah, she was keeping it cute. But once she mentioned culture, it was over.
I would
It was
too.
over. You know, she took it to hell. Papa Perk is insane. Like,
and you know what? Speaking of Papa Perk, like I really feel bad, not for the ex stands and the ex Barbs, because they can honestly, people who continue to support this woman, honestly, it's the same judgment. I hate that cult mentality. I hate someone that can't, like, look, you can love an artist, but also be critical of them.
Right.
If you're not capable of doing that, then you're a sheep to me, and I judge the shit out of you because it's the same people that do that are easily manipulated into becoming any type of cult. Like, y'all want to judge the Nazis, but then y'all be the first ones to tell on Anne Frank type shit. So I don't even give a fuck about all that. Fuck the Barbs that continue to support her. I don't give a fuck. Listen, that to me, hey, all good, whatever. You can like what you like, and I can like what I like. But what I really genuinely feel bad for is her son.
mm-hmm.
Her son. Because who is protecting him? Who is protecting him? And God forbid he can't even speak. Who is protecting him? The same way I feel about Krishan Rock's son.
And then she always has her husband and, you know,
all these
friends,
people,
all these
right?
men around her. And it's just like really ugly. I'm like, is this the example you want to show your son? Maybe it is, because that's clearly what attracted you to your husband. You like men that act like that. So you want your son to be like that too. It's given that. Like, this is the example. You're the example. You know, it's just, I don't know. I hate when kids are raised, and I don't know, maybe it's not a terrible environment, but given the way that man acts, the way he's always around his bros, with his gang. You know, the way how she was set up with all those niggas in the studio.
Yeah, that shit
talking about making
ugly.
calls, taking shots, or whatever the fuck she was saying. That shit was mad ugly. Like, you're a ghetto bitch. Like, for real. You got all, and that's the thing. She's one of those girls that's like, yeah, I'm for the street life, but she don't do anything like Stunner Girl. Like, you send your goons. Like, you know what I mean? But she's the first one to say that Cardi's messed up for sending men on women, which she is. But like, Nicki, you're kind of similar.
Right.
Like, you guys are kind of similar. Like, you know, just because Cardi's from the Bronx and maybe a little bit more hoodish, that still don't make you any better. And I feel like at the end of the day, y'all both are wrong. Y'all both have done fucked up shit. I just hate how Nicki tries to get online like she's holier than thou, like she's a supporter for women. Talking about, oh, you sent men to beat on the women, da-da-da. But like, you didn't protect your 12-year-old niece. What are you talking about when she got raped by your brother? So I don't think you're in any position
to say anything.
To cast judgment on Cardi, because y'all are both coming from the hood. And y'all are both coming from toxic environments.
And it shows in different ways.
Exactly. And y'all are both a product of your environment. The same way, you know, Cardi's pregnant right now, you know, in her situation. Like, you know, y'all both are coming from similar environments. And I just feel like y'all both wrong. And it's done. It's done. That's all I have to say about this. I'm tired of hearing about Nicki and Cardi beef, because it's like, bitch,
fight. Call Lemmy Plumber, call Zeus Network, set it up, and fight.
Like, nigga, you keep ducking the smoke. Like, get off Twitter. Like, let's see something. That would really go viral. This is so bad.
It would.
It would.
Who knows? Maybe one day we'll see a video out there.
Nah, she would never.
Of maybe like an animated version of what could possibly happen.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, Hennessy, it wouldn't be a fair fight. It wouldn't be a fair fight. Hennessy gonna be there, jumping in with her sister. Like, you know, like, I don't know. I just feel like where things have gone, how far things have gotten to this point, there's no way they actually mean it's gonna be a fair fight.
No, they wouldn't.
No, fuck out of here. But yeah, you never know.
You never know.
But yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say about this. Let us know what you think in the comments. I know a lot of people, because I posted a poll on the Petty Headquarters podcast Instagram, whose team are you on? And a lot of people said Cardi.
That's right.
Only one person said Nicki. It was so funny. Literally one. Everyone else said Cardi. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and speaking of Cardi, one more thing. I mean, of Nicki that I wanted to mention is that we're going back to the compensating thing. I feel like low-key, when she's saying supposedly she's doing this for her rollout of her album, I think she's lying. I think she's using that as an excuse so she don't look bad. So she don't look bad on media. So she's like, yeah, you'll see in March. And
yeah, she just added that in.
Yeah.
I don't think she was doing that for the album either.
Right.
I think it was just like, might as well.
Yeah.
Sprinkle it in there.
Exactly. I don't think those were her intentions.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, man.
But yeah, let us know. That. Let us know what you guys think. I'm definitely overhearing Nicki and Cardi too.
Like, how long is this beef gonna go on for years? I mean, years.
I love Cardi B's new album. It's very good. Y'all should go check it out.
It's so good.
Because honestly, at the end of the day, besides all this talking, the numbers speak for itself.
Right.
Besides all the emotions and shit like that, the best way to beat Nicki in that sense is to run up Cardi B's numbers and not listen when Nicki drops hers.
Yeah, you know people are gonna listen when she drops hers, though.
I can't wait to compare the two, because I'm pretty sure after this she's not gonna get as many people.
We'll see, because you don't know.
The last album wasn't that good either.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And she tried to crash out on the internet over that too.
Yeah, she even went on Kai Cenat's show to promote. She was doing so much promo for it too.
Exactly, but no one talks about that. She busy worried about Cardi's $4.99 promotion on iTunes. Like, bro, shut up. You're such a hater. You do the same thing. It's called the rollout for a reason. You invest in the rollout so that it can be a bit stupid. Like, what? Duh.
Yeah.
Everybody's paying for a rollout. That's what it is. It's called capital and it's called fucking business. Like, you're mad weird.
Yeah, I think that Cardi did a great job in promoting her new album. She took it back to her roots.
Yeah.
How she started on Instagram. Like, you know, like doing those videos, being in New York, like the subway.
Queen Center Mall, bitch.
Yeah, like outside with the CDs on the ground, selling CDs. Like, she did it such a good job, because that was the original Cardi before she was on Love and Hip Hop, bro.
Yeah.
That was Cardi on Instagram before surgery, before, you know, going on Love and Hip Hop. She was just a stripper on Instagram,
Yeah.
making funny videos. Like,
yeah,
for real.
exactly. And her even going being the subway, being the voice for the subway.
Yeah, that was funny.
That shit is fire.
Like, she did a really good, clever job with her promo.
Let me think.
And she put thought into that.
Right. Do you think for a moment that being on the subway was free 99, bitch? No, it was more than $4.99. It was money. That's what's called an investment. You're promoting yourself. So her to fucking make a tweet about $4.99 on the iTunes, just shut up.
Yeah, like, that just pissed me off. But
Weird.
Anywho, I'm over her. I'm done. Is there anything else you want to say about that? I have nothing else to say about that either. Guys, comment your thoughts. Let us know where you're from. Yeah, tune in. Where can they find you?
You
Done
guys
with this shit.
can find me on Instagram. That's JESSI.strange. And where can they find you,
You
Tiana?
guys can find me on Instagram at RandomMedia1. You guys can find us on Instagram at
The
The
Petty
Petty Headquarters. You guys can find us on YouTube and all podcast platforms at
The Petty Headquarters.
We release episodes weekly. And with that being said, this was your weekly dose of mess.